and quite frankly in the mainstream media. And I know you guys are sick of this question because it's really silly, but it keeps coming up in the comments on our.
Oh, yeah, I know where this is going. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, apparently I'm told that Pauline Hanson's racist. Now I challenge them, like, show me what she said, and then they give me this court case, which I don't know, like, people can have a look for themselves. I don't think what she said was racist at all. I think if someone doesn't like the country, tell them to go back where they came from is perfectly acceptable. But I've just thought, did you want to explain to us what makes you such a racist?
Yeah, look, as I alluded to earlier, mate, so many people blown away when they go looking at our actual policies and they're like, turns out you're not right-wing extreme Nazis. You're just regular people with some, centre or centre-right views. Anyway, look, it obviously stems back, and this has plagued us for years, obviously, from comments that were taken out of context that Pauline originally said in the late 90s. And arguably, they've come to fruition, and not too many people would debate against that. The fact being that, unchecked Chinese investment in the Gold Coast at the time was going to cause a problem. Now, you could argue that, it's added value to that community, but I personally wouldn't. I'd say she was bang on the money. Here we are 28 years later, and it has caused a problem. Look, and then fast forward to the situation you're talking about with Marine Faruqi, I believe. For those that don't understand the context surrounding that, obviously Marine Faruqi had said, after Queen Elizabeth had died, I understand, or to words of the effect of, I cannot mourn the death of the monarch of a colonial such and such. Anyway,
disgusting.
My problems with that, whether you're a monarchist or not, my problems with that are, you are sworn under the Australian Constitution, which happens to be a Commonwealth of the British Empire, of the United Kingdom. You're happy to sit back and generate a profit from the Crown, effectively, out of the taxpayer coffers of this country. Yet you sit there, and this is the same with Lydia Thorpe, yet you sit there and claim that you think it's a fallacy to some extent, or you feel like you don't have to respect that system of governance that employs you and gives you, the great blessing of being able to represent the Australian people in federal parliament. Now, I find that disgusting. And, if anybody, let's put it in a different context. Pauline did say, piss off back to Pakistan. I personally don't have a problem with that. If you don't like it. Me neither.
I would have said worse.
Yeah. But firstly, so that should have been covered by parliamentary privilege. She should not have been able to take Senator Hanson to court for that. This is two elected members. We should be able to have tough discussions. If our politicians can't even have hard dialogue around these very emotionally charged issues, then when can we have these discussions as a society? We need to be able to have robust discussions about key issues as a society in order for us to find viable solutions and move forward. Would Senator Hanson have been labelled the same way had it been a US expat or somebody that came here, say a white European Christian American that came here and had problems with the whole situation, and Pauline told them to piss off back to their own country? Would she still be racist?
No.
Of course not.
We all know the answer. Yep.
So, it's frustrating to have to deal with these sorts of the topics and the knee-jerk reactions from government, state and federal to try and protect people's feelings. Like, this is what we're seeing with the anti-vilification laws in Victoria just last week or the week before. You're literally trying to protect people from getting hurt feelings now. Stop it. People reserve the right to be offended. It's your prerogative. Just be offended. I'm not going to not say what I want to say. As I said, we need to be able to have these hard conversations, and particularly the very vocal left jump up and down and get cry emotional abuse and scream, and then it squashes all dialogue on these tough social issues that we need to have, and everybody ends up walking on eggshells, and we never find resolve. Like, if you are unable to engage in these yes, we need to advocate from a place of compassion, of course. But if you're unable to engage in robust dialogue around these emotionally charged topics without being emotionally triggered, you need to remove yourself from the room, because the adults need to have a conversation.
Boom.
Yeah.
That one.
will jump in and say, to those that do have reservations, the One Nation is somehow a racist party. So I believe 60% of Victorians are now born elsewhere, and that's an incredible figure. And as such, our membership in Victoria is our fastest growing membership in the country, which is no surprise, being that, Victoria's turned towards socialism and the silent majority are looking for new political representation. Now, having said that, completely by accident, 55 to maybe 60% of my endorsed candidates for this federal election in Victoria are born elsewhere. It tells you a lot about, the cross-section of this community that have reached out and want to actively represent the One Nation value set in federal parliament. They've come to this country, they see the value in this country more so than a lot of the people that are born here, and they've put their hand up to run as candidates for the One Nation party. And most of them do this in the face of adversity and challenging circumstances amongst their own communities, because they face the same biases that I do for being racist. Now, we've got an Iraqi, a Christian Iraqi, we've got Argentinians, we've got 2 Italians, I've got 2 South Africans, I've got 2 Indians, we've got people from all over the world, and that's not deliberate. We're not trying to deliberately be diverse. That is legitimately just the best people that put their hand up for specific seats that we wanted to endorse to represent the value set of this party and the people of Victoria at this federal election. So, yeah, take your
and do you really think
racism comments and go and have a look at the Greens if you reckon they are,
exactly. But the thing is, do you think that if Pauline Hanson's One Nation was a racist party, do you think these people would want to be running for it?
Yeah, exactly.
People just annoy the crap out of me.